What's up, guys? The official update for the Android 16 Pixel 6 Pro is here, and this phone is really awesome for a phone released in 2021. Google extended the lifespan of this phone and is getting more updates, and it has just been an awesome experience. I've never seen a phone just get consistently smoother. So I've been pretty impressed with these phones. Anybody with a Pixel 6 Pro, let me know how the update has been for you guys. And yeah, I guess we can start off with the hardware of this phone. Now, the hardware still looks great on the Pixel 6 Pro here. I don't think it looks too, dated or anything like that. And yeah, I actually really like it. It's a pretty comfortable phone. It's IP68 dust and water resistant. We do have that glossy finish on the back here, the classic Pixel camera bar design. And yeah, I think the hardware still looks great, stood up definitely. And mine's really doesn't look too beat up actually. I've had this phone since it came out. And yeah, so absolutely love the design on here. And as far as the Android 16 update goes, it really could have been like Android 15.1 or something like that. It really isn't a huge update. There's a lot of under the hood stuff here, but one thing that I have noticed with this phone is that it is super smooth. It's basically, it feels just as smooth as a Pixel 9 Pro that I have. So I've been really impressed with the overall performance of the Pixel 6 Pro. It is just very smooth for day-to-day use, guys. Animations and everything are just extremely fluid. Now, a really cool thing with Android 16 that I wanted to note for people who are in the used refurbished marketplace, this is kind of like a big deal. Really, all Android phones need this, but this it's supposed to update in the coming weeks to give me an accurate battery capacity. But we do have a battery health section here now, and you can see it tells me I'm limiting the phone to 80%. Please turn that on if you plan to keep your phone for a long period of time. But it'll show this, it'll show normal, once you're running it for a few weeks. Hopefully I'll, come back, probably make a short about this. But yeah, this is big news for just in general for Android phones. If you buy in the used refurbished marketplace, knowing what the battery health is, if it's good, because when you buy an Android phone, we have legit no clue. We just have to kind of go off of what people say, right? So that is one thing that I really like. Another kind of slept on thing here is the expanded menu here. So we can actually force stop an application now. The select, pause, of course, screenshot is here. But I do like the select, or not the select, but the close. So if you have an app that froze and it just you go into it and it just won't do anything, you can actually force stop it. Now the screen on the Pixel 6 Pro is pretty good. It's a 6.7-inch LTPO display. It's AMOLED 120 Hz HDR10 Plus. It is 1440p 512 for the PPI, and the screen looks really good. I think probably the only thing that people may not like about the screen is that it is a curved panel. It's a pretty dramatic curve on here, but besides that, I really love the colors, and yeah, everything just feels silky smooth on this display. The older the curved Pixel phones feel a lot smoother than the Pixel 8 Pro and the 9 Pro for some reason. Just navigating, it just feels smoother, right? It's really hard to explain because you just have to use them both side by side. But if you ask people in the comments, they'll kind of tell you if they have the flat screen Pixels versus the curved ones. It just feels, the overall experience feels a lot smoother, because I think that's what it is. I'm like, why do these older Pixels feel smoother than the newer Pixels? But I think it's the glass. I don't know why, but it just feels like that. But the screen on here is great. The max brightness on here is okay. I took it outdoors to take some photos, and I was kind of able to see. It's not as good as the newer ones, but it gets decently bright still. Google Tensor chips aren't really known for gaming. This is the original Tensor, and we can still play PUBG on 60 frames, and it's pretty smooth for the most part. But these aren't necessarily, have never been really gaming phones. Even the latest Pixel 9 Pro XL, it's still not optimized to play at 120 frames. So this is not an area where Google really cares about. So these aren't really gaming phones. If you can come here and play a match of PUBG, Call of Duty, fine. This original Tensor chip definitely has some heating problems as well. I didn't experience so much on this one, but the Tensor G2 or the Pixel 7 Pro, That was the one where I experienced like some heating problems, where the phone was flashing warnings. But yeah, this one, the original Tensor, 12 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, and even this doesn't really feel like 60 frames. Yeah, it feels, I mean, it's close, but I don't think this is 60. But it's still playable. You could play Call of Duty just fine on here. Most titles will run, decently smooth on this phone. But yeah, if you're somebody who's into gaming, there's a lot of, better options. I would go with a Snapdragon, like an S23 Plus or something like that. And yeah, overall the performance on here has been great. I think this phone still feels extremely smooth when you're just navigating, doing regular stuff. Like I said, for gaming, it's perfectly fine for the casual gamer, but for people who are more competitive, you probably want to get, something else here. But yeah, I'm always impressed with the performance when it comes to just general use here. The speakers on the 6 Pro are actually pretty good. The overall sound is pretty balanced, and we have a good amount of bass on here. So I think the speakers sound great. And also this fingerprint scanner with these updates, I mean, it's always worked, but it's a lot more. It used to be like kind of worse, but it's a lot more accurate. Even though it's an optical one and it's not the fastest, it does work. To me, it just feels a lot better. Now, the star of the show for these Pixel phones is always going to be the camera. The camera experience is still excellent. This is like a phone that you could buy today and still be pretty impressed with the cameras compared to a lot of other older flagships at this time. It's a 50 megapixel standard. It's a 48 megapixel periscope telephoto. It's 4 times optical, and this can go up all the way to 20 times zoom. And then we also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot in 4K 60. 11.1 megapixel selfie, and it can shoot in 4K 30. The photos look great, guys. I really love the colors on here. The overall dynamic range, there's still good detail on here. Skin tones still look really good. Even kind of low light shots still look pretty good on the Pixel 6 Pro. I think the video still looks decent. It's aged a little bit, but overall, I think the colors and everything just look fantastic. On here, detail is great. So I'm always impressed when I look at these Pixel 6 Pro photos. I mean, these cameras still look amazing here. So let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Pixel cameras. As you guys know, I film a lot of my shorts with the Pixel phone. So I'm really happy with the photos on here. Now, this phone was never really a battery life champ. The battery life, because of the processor being like not really efficient, it kind of suffered in the battery area. It's okay. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. We have 23 watt charging, which is kind of slow, and then we have 23 watt wireless charging, and we also do have reverse wireless charging on here as well. So battery life, you can expect, like, even if you put a brand new battery here, I think I was getting like maybe 5 hours of screen on time, something like that, which it's not terrible, but it's not great. And I feel like the battery life has improved, especially with standby time. But besides that, it's not anything too crazy. But the Pixel 6 Pro, I think, is aging extremely well. So we can see with Google extending the software support, we can see how these phones actually get a lot better with, proper software updates. So I think it's a really cool thing to see. So this phone has, I believe, one more majorOS update. It gets Android 17 as well, so that'll be pretty exciting. Hopefully Google will do a bigger update and give us some, probably more of a redesign. I'm kind of wanting them to redesign this control center. It does, to me, it looks a little bit dated compared to like what everyone else is doing, especially like Samsung. But what do you guys think?